A seguir, Maravilhas Modernas.
Um símbolo revolucionário da superioridade industrial. A técnica de produção que transformou nações e alterou a história. Hoje, em Maravilhas Modernas, o ritmo e a produtividade das linhas de montagem. Maravilhas Modernas.
I think the assembly line is the most significant technological development of the 20th century. Nearly everything that we use, we would not have it in the quantities we have it and at the prices we have it without the assembly line.
A linha de montagem move o mundo. É a força motriz por trás de todas as nações industriais, operários e máquinas organizados no fluxo contínuo que transforma a matéria-prima em produto em uma escala inimaginável.
I think the best way to define the assembly line is the way Ford did. He called it progressive production.
Work moves to the person and moves past the person rather than the person going to the work.
Parts are added until you come up with a final product.
And that's what the assembly line is, essentially, work in motion principle.
O trabalho em movimento é tão revolucionário hoje quanto na virada do século XX. O que pode parecer quilômetros de caos mecanizado é, na verdade, a mais confiável e duradoura técnica de produção já inventada. Hoje, a linha de montagem é usada para construir tudo, de um computador de 1 quilo a um avião de 37 toneladas. O Boeing 717-200 será em breve o maior veículo já construído em uma linha de montagem. Com 300 metros de comprimento, a linha moverá essa aeronave para 100 passageiros a 1,5 cm por minuto, entregando aos clientes um avião a cada 4 dias. A linha de montagem da Boeing reflete a mesma audácia encontrada nas origens da técnica. Velocidade é o lema dos grandes montadores. Desde o início, a linha de montagem surgiu para aumentar a velocidade.
Industrial society was highly advanced at the time the assembly line came into being, but once it came into being, it was so productive that very few things were made without the line after that. There are several factors that went into the making of the assembly line. The first had to be that the parts of any product that would be made on an assembly line had to be interchangeable.
Peças intercambiáveis ou uniformes foram inventadas em 1813 pelo fabricante de armas de Connecticut, Simeon North, para sua pistola. Depois foram aperfeiçoadas para outras armas. As peças uniformes e a conveniência de encaixá-las umas nas outras foram inovações cruciais na história da produção em massa. A primeira inspiração de se colocar o trabalho em movimento surgiu nas linhas de abate dos matadouros de Cincinnati no século XIX.
The idea being that a cow or a pig was grabbed up by the hind legs and essentially put on a moving line and was successfully slaughtered, gutted, and then butchered, all on a moving line basis.
Na década de 1850, esteiras desenvolvidas por fabricantes de tecido eram usadas para transportar pesados moldes cheios de ferro quente na produção de aço. Várias décadas depois, os fabricantes de latas criaram um elaborado sistema de esteiras, projetado para levar determinadas tarefas a operários específicos através de uma linha móvel.
And there in can making, you have various machines that are linked together by conveyors, which cans are taken from sheet steel and built up into full cans.
Henry Ford, que construiu seu primeiro carro em 1896, era diferente dos outros fabricantes de automóveis. Não apenas procurou fazer um carro para as massas, mas queria construir o carro mais barato. Depois do desenvolvimento do extremamente popular Modelo T, Ford começou a experimentar com as técnicas de produção disponíveis. Em 1908, a economia prosperava e as fábricas precisavam ser mais rápidas.
You have to understand the context in which the assembly line took place at Ford. From the time that the Model T was introduced, the Ford Motor Company could not meet the demand for Model Ts.
And his goal was never to create the assembly line. His goal was to constantly improve production to drive the price of his car down, but also keep the quality up and keep the production volume going up. And he pursued this goal relentlessly.
Ford redistribuía homens e máquinas regularmente para aumentar a velocidade da montagem estacionária de componentes. Em 1910, inaugurou uma fábrica de 60 acres em Highland Park e distribuiu as máquinas na sequência de produção dos automóveis. O abandono do agrupamento tradicional de máquinas por tipo permitia que os operários entregassem as peças com mais eficiência a cada subestação de montagem.
He was averaging a doubling of production for several years before the assembly line. But this relentless drive for ever more production at ever lower cost led him almost inexorably to the techniques that eventually developed into the assembly line.
Então, Ford tomou a crucial decisão de mover o carro ao invés do operário, com base nos princípios de Frederick Speedy Taylor. Como primeira autoridade em eficiência industrial, o trabalho de Taylor já era popular na indústria do aço.
It was his specific understanding that human intelligence as applied by workers at the point of production was a hindrance to efficient operation.
Seus princípios tinham como objetivo reduzir um trabalho em particular a tarefas cada vez menores, o que significaria que muitas delas poderiam ser controladas, mecanizadas e, portanto, aceleradas. Esse processo requeria mais homens e menos habilidade.
Effectively, he tailorized the work and took the skill out of the work process, dividing the labor, subdividing it again, so that a workman would do a smaller and smaller part of it. And doing the smaller and smaller piece of work, he could do it faster and faster.
Em abril de 1913, 29 trabalhadores altamente qualificados da Ford alinharam-se diante de uma linha de montagem de um componente. A linha era composta por todas as peças para se fazer um ímã de flywheel. Ao invés de montar o componente todo, cada homem realizaria uma tarefa simples e pré-definida e passaria o componente para o próximo operário.
Then they said that if this works with transmissions or it works with magnetos, what about engines? What about front axles? What about rear axles? And eventually they got all these sub-assemblies on the assembly line.
Um ano mais tarde, após Ford ter conseguido montar os componentes fundamentais do carro em uma linha de montagem, o chassi de um modelo T foi levantado por uma corda ao longo da fábrica. Os operários pegavam as peças empilhadas nas subestações e as colocavam no lugar. Quando terminaram, haviam montado um carro inteiro em apenas 5 horas e 50 minutos. A linha de montagem diminuíra pela metade o tempo de produção de um modelo T.
Ford and Ford's engineers took all these ideas and brought them all together and created what we think of as the modern assembly line, but it was really an amalgam of all sorts of other ideas, but nobody had ever tried to put them all together and use them to put together something as complicated as an automobile.
Inspirado pelas esteiras rolantes dos matadouros, Ford instalou a primeira esteira móvel automática para mover os chassis através da linha em um fluxo contínuo. O que um homem levava 728 horas para construir, podia ser montado em uma linha de montagem em 90 minutos. A produção aumentou dramaticamente, de 82 mil carros em 1912 para 267 mil em 1914. Assim, Ford baixou o preço do modelo T de $600 para $490.
The assembly line created for consumers a kind of abundance that the world had never seen before.
wondrous technology of the assembly line effectively was its undoing relative to labor.
Henry Ford investiu milhões em máquinas que automatizaram muitos dos trabalhos da linha de montagem. Embora essa técnica de produção tenha revolucionado a indústria, os operários a odiaram.
It's boring, it's regimented, it's monotonous.
It was very difficult to keep a lot of workers in these factories when they first started the moving assembly line.
Em nome da velocidade, trabalhadores qualificados foram substituídos por operários inexperientes, que ganhavam menos para realizar tarefas simples e repetitivas.
Labor leader reported the comment of a Ford auto worker as saying, if I have to put on nut number 86 more times, I will be nut number 86 in the Pontiac bug house. Work became degraded.
Para Ford, a produção em massa na linha de montagem não requeria que os operários pensassem, e sim que mantivessem o ritmo.
A foreman in the Ford engine assembly plant talked about how in his shop, after they introduced line production, what he would do is he'd turn up the speed of the line a notch. The workers would move faster, turn it up another notch, turn it up another notch, and then the workers would scream and they'd turn it back one notch. They said we used to get 10, 15 more machines a day by doing that.
Os operários cediam sob pressão. As desistências chegaram a 380% no final de 1913. As faltas eram tão frequentes que tornaram-se conhecidas como Fordite. Em essência, os trabalhadores eram tão intercambiáveis na linha de montagem quanto as próprias peças.
Ford once said every part followed a predetermined place through the plant. If you had a person missing from that particular place, the whole system stopped. The Ford plant had 14,000 workers. With a 10% absentee rate, you have to have 1,400 extra workers to fill the assembly lines.
People didn't want to do these jobs, and it required the bait of considerable increase in wages to keep people in those factories.
A resposta de Ford à crise de mão de obra o transformou em herói. Ele dobrou os salários para $5 diários e diminuiu a jornada de trabalho de 9 para 8 horas. Em 1914, o operário da linha de montagem ganhava 5 vezes mais do que o americano médio, cuja renda anual era de $334. O empregado da linha de montagem podia comprar o carro que estava construindo.
It worked. Turnover dropped, absenteeism dropped, and Ford workers, sort of traded the high wages for the rotten work.
Com a linha de montagem mecânica ditando o ritmo, Ford obteve um sucesso sem igual nas primeiras 2 décadas do século XX. Em 1919, a linha de montagem ajudou a fazer dele o primeiro bilionário.
The assembly line has brought wealth and bounty, not just to Ford and Ford's workers, but also to Americans in general.
Não havia símbolo maior de riqueza e fartura do que o monumental complexo River Rouge, em Dearborn, Michigan. Aberta em 1918, muitos consideravam esta fábrica a obra-prima industrial de Henry Ford. A materialização da produção em massa e da linha de montagem em escala épica. 75 mil trabalhadores operavam 53 mil máquinas ao longo de 48 quilômetros de esteiras, na maior linha de montagem do mundo. Eles fabricavam seu próprio vidro, aço e coque para fundir as peças. Em 1928, Ford podia construir um automóvel a partir da matéria-prima em apenas 4 dias.
I think what happens through the 1920s is that the line and the line speed and the regime of work in the factory becomes harder, faster, more ruthless.
Mas a fábrica de Rouge era um imã para jovens mecânicos atrás de oportunidades. Roosevelt Ford subiu em um trem no Mississippi após ouvir que as companhias automotivas estavam contratando. Em 1921, ele foi trabalhar para a Ford. Altamente qualificado, ajudou a manter e consertar as linhas de montagem do Complexo Rouge.
Back in the days when he was a millwright, Ford Motor Company was the only company in the Big Three that had any blacks in skilled trades.
Como operário qualificado, Roosevelt Ford serviu de inspiração para sua família, tanto que 4 gerações foram trabalhar no Complexo Rouge. Vista aqui em uma reunião recente, a família tem um total de 300 anos de experiência na construção de automóveis. Fortes e orgulhosos, não apenas sobreviveram, mas prosperaram na dura realidade da linha de montagem.
It's a lot of pressure on you. I feel a lot of pressure.
Repetitive motion and strenuous standing up all day. I believe that's the hardest part because it wears your body out.
The line is going to run in space. You have to catch on.
And I don't think you really get the feel of this, even though you can look at people doing it, unless you've done it yourself. You really don't understand.
Os Fords concordam que, embora a linha de montagem atual seja diferente da do tempo de Roosevelt, ele ajudou a prepará-los para o trabalho.
He used to tell us some of the stories about some of the things that went on before the union got into the shop.
If the production line was stopped for any reason, it was like an investigation, and it was nothing for a person to be fired, to lose their job, if they were found to be at fault. Prior to the union, if a person was seen spitting on the floor or smoking a cigarette, they could lose their job.
You had to take a little bit of everything. You got out there and did it. You could have been tired, you could be sick, but you had to produce.
I came across an account of a woman who said that, you know, my husband is not even allowed to leave to go to the toilet. They have a trough in the work area where he goes to urinate.
Em 1929, um carro saía da linha de montagem da Ford a cada 10 segundos. Um ritmo tão acelerado que levaria os trabalhadores a se organizar.
One of the early demands of the union is that the box which controlled the speed of the line would have 2 keys, and that both workers and management would control one of the keys. So, I mean, in some sense, what unionization is about is to try to stop and slow down that speed up.
Embora o controle da velocidade da linha fosse fundamental na batalha entre os operários e a gerência, uma coisa a respeito da linha de montagem era certa.
First of all, it was a job. I had a job. The assembly line did a lot for a lot of people. It was a phenomenal thing, I guess is the best way for me to put it.
The assembly line was a tremendous symbol of modernity, of productivity, of wealth.
No final dos anos 20, 43% de todos os bens do mundo eram fabricados na América, e industriais de todos os tipos tentavam copiar a tecnologia de Ford.
If you can make something as complicated as an automobile on an assembly line, the reasoning goes that I ought to be able to make toasters and phonographs and other things which should be much simpler.
They look good, don't they? They taste good too.
O método de produção de Ford, porém, requeria consumo em massa para maximizar os lucros e minimizar os custos. Essa fórmula simples foi a desgraça de muitos industriais. Mas isso não os impediu de aplicar a nova tecnologia da linha de montagem.
There are new products coming on into the home, electrical appliances, which had been sort of experimented with at the turn of the century, but these were going in wholesale into American homes. You have companies like General Electric, Westinghouse that are beginning to make home appliances with moving line assembly.
The assembly line allowed not only more stuff to be made, but more complicated stuff, higher quality stuff, things like radios and phonographs, things that had once been fairly high-end, kind of abundance, a kind of material abundance that simply people had never experienced before.
Em 1927, o operário americano tinha um poder de compra 30% maior do que na década anterior. Os programas de compra parcelada permitiam que os consumidores adquirissem geladeiras, máquinas de lavar, carros e outros bens na velocidade em que saíam da fábrica, com uma exceção.
Foster Gunnison liked to see himself as the Henry Ford of housing. He built a factory that built houses, very simple houses with simple wall structures on a moving line basis. A lot of things that actually went into custom-built homes had actually been mass-produced, things like fixtures, things like bathtubs, etc. That those were already mass-produced.
Estudo conduzido na época concluiu que, em relação às casas, os americanos recusavam-se a permitir que seus custos sucumbissem à produção em massa e à padronização.
Consumers, for the most part, have rejected mass-produced houses.
Em outras palavras, Foster Gunnarsson fracassou no negócio das casas produzidas em massa. Embora os americanos rejeitassem casas construídas na linha de montagem, acolheram com entusiasmo os automóveis fabricados dessa forma.
We talk about car companies so much in this assembly line context because really that's where the assembly line was perfected and grew up, and it's where it matured.
A linha de montagem original de Ford foi construída para fabricar especificamente o modelo T. Mas esse carro oferecia poucas escolhas aos consumidores e só vinha em uma cor, preta. Era barato, mas os consumidores queriam variedade, e a General Motors atendeu seus pedidos.
One of the things that General Motors realized was nobody was going to compete with Henry Ford directly on price. So the key was to make a car that cost a little more than a Ford, but offered more than a Ford. And that's really where they tried to target the Chevrolet.
What you see in the assembly line, in terms of engineering the assembly line, is essentially working out methods by which you can have greater variety.
Em 1926, Ford havia perdido 25% do mercado para a General Motors, que oferecia um Chevrolet mais caro, mas em várias cores e com muitos opcionais. Em 1927, Ford abandonou o modelo T e apresentou um novo automóvel.
It was an enormous, wrenching change to shut down his factories, retool them to produce the next car, which he called the Model A, and was a very different, much more modern automobile than the Model T. It was a colossal change for them. Not only was it expensive, but there was also a tremendous personnel cost, and they threw a lot of people out. They fired a lot of people, brought in different people.
When they began to assemble the Model A, they have tremendous problems making the assembly line work.
A mudança para o modelo A custou à Ford mais de 250 milhões de dólares. Após 19 anos produzindo o modelo T, foi preciso trocar muitas máquinas para a fabricação das 5.580 peças do modelo A, quase todas novas. O esforço resultou em prejuízo por não satisfazer os consumidores.
General Motors was able to make those kinds of changes much more easily because they had never pursued things as far down that cul-de-sac as Ford Motor Company had.
Ao contrário da Ford com suas monumentais fábricas, a General Motors podia fabricar carros diferentes porque tinha várias fábricas menores com linhas de montagem dedicadas a modelos diversos. A alteração anual de modelos inventada pela GM logo tornou-se um rito de passagem para os motoristas americanos. Os carros tinham agora variedade e estilo. Após mais de uma década, os fabricantes aprenderam como adaptar as linhas de montagem às exigências dos consumidores. E em 1941, durante a Segunda Guerra Mundial, o consumidor mais exigente era o governo dos Estados Unidos.
I think Lewis Mumford said that really there's no kind of demand like demand that comes about through warfare, because first of all, you need a lot of things and you destroy a lot of things. Creates this tremendous demand.
Here is the arsenal of democracy at work. One plant among thousands dotted across the vast United States.
As fábricas de automóveis de Detroit se transformaram.
Effectively, what you're doing is creating something entirely different. I mean, that process of conversion over to wartime industry is one where the whole shop floor is just literally in turmoil.
Uma indústria criada para produzir 32 milhões de carros para civis foi reajustada, reequipada e renovada para abastecer a inesgotável demanda criada pela guerra.
Plants that build tanks like these, huge lumbering juggernauts, in numbers that stagger the imagination.
If you look at the history of the war, you'll see that the United States created a tremendous amount of war material.
World War II also sees the coming in of large numbers of women and large numbers of African Americans. Prior to that time, it was believed that neither women nor African Americans had the skills to work the machinery and the heavy equipment that was tied to the industry. There's a lot of contention in the auto industry through the war years. As African American workers are upgraded to the machines and the assembly lines, there are sometimes what are referred to as hate strikes. White workers who would go on strike because they didn't want to see the upgrading of African American workers. And the same thing occurred with women workers sometimes.
Apesar do ambiente abertamente hostil, a capacidade dos negros e das mulheres era demonstrada por sua produção.
This is mass production, as only American engineers know how.
Ao final da guerra, em 1945, eles haviam produzido 90 mil bombardeiros, 57 mil motores de avião e 250 mil tanques e jipes.
One of the major reasons that we won World War II was because we were able to produce all kinds of war material, from tanks and airplanes to clothing and helmets, at a faster rate, at a cheaper price than any other nation on earth. So we were able to build ships faster than the Japanese and the Germans combined could sink them.
I think you could say that Henry Ford invented the assembly line for the car and that Toyota perfected it.
Após a Segunda Guerra, a produtividade americana era 8 vezes maior do que a japonesa, prejudicada pela recessão e inflação.
The Toyota situation in the post-war period back in the early 50s, they really had nothing in terms of resources. It was a resource-poor country. They had no opportunity to waste. Any materials they had to somehow use.
Em 1950, Eiji Toyota, um jovem engenheiro japonês que tentava reconstruir o negócio de sua família, passou 3 meses no Complexo Rouge, a mais eficiente fábrica de carros do mundo. Ao contrário de muitos fabricantes da época, Ford não tinha medo de mostrar suas técnicas de produção em massa a outros industriais.
Ford's assembly line worked great when you had high volume and low variety, hopefully no variety, just one. But Toyota's situation was different.
Na época, a Toyota estava construindo 1000 carros por mês, enquanto o Rouge fazia 1000 por dia. E esse não era seu único problema.
Here they are making 1,000 cars per month. And all those, they had to make all kinds of cars. They had to make trucks, big trucks, big cars, little cars, limousines, fire engines, you name it. They had to make everything for the Japanese market.
It's necessity that compels the Japanese to redefine the responsibilities of labor in a system that is starved for capital and is only serving very low volumes of demand.
Ao contrário das linhas de montagem automatizadas de Detroit, a Toyota concentrou a produção em seu recurso mais abundante, a mão de obra.
And to do that, they realized the most flexible thing in the entire operation are people. Not machines, not anything else, it's people.
The Japanese never went as far down this road towards making the worker merely a cog in the machine as we did. They were actually using their workers' mind power, and we had forgotten about that.
Em uma mudança fundamental na técnica da linha de montagem, a Toyota reorganizou o trabalho, reduziu o desperdício e deixou os operários definirem suas tarefas em um processo chamado fabricação Lean.
Every job that you see on a Toyota assembly line has been slowly and steadily improved and fine-tuned over the years by every operator who's done those jobs. Toyota managed to involve the workers, to engage the workers, and to give them jobs that actually provide more fulfillment on the assembly line.
Os funcionários não apenas definiam e aperfeiçoavam suas funções, como realizavam uma série de tarefas.
They do low-end maintenance. They do low-end housekeeping. That means that you have much less support staff in the factory. You have fewer material handlers. You have fewer janitors. You have fewer maintenance personnel. You have fewer inspectors.
Toyota said the operators, the plant floor, is in charge of quality. If you have a problem, you stop the line right now.
Assim, cada operário da linha de montagem tornou-se um inspetor. A qualidade e a produtividade aumentaram porque menos peças tinham defeitos.
The productivity tends to be higher in a lean production plant because you are obligating workers to take on tasks which previously would have been carried out by indirect support staff.
A Toyota também eliminou certos especialistas, como os trocadores de forma. A forma possui formato que a folha de metal assume depois de moldada. A Toyota desenvolveu uma técnica de mudança de formas sobre rodas, que podia ser realizada em 2 ou 3 horas, enquanto as fábricas americanas levavam 2 ou 3 semanas.
They didn't know exactly what number of different products they were going to be making every day, so they had to be prepared to make those every single day.
A linha de montagem da Toyota exigia que os operários fossem qualificados, motivados e inovadores. Quando a produção era estabelecida, os funcionários eram responsáveis por melhorá-la, um processo chamado Kaizen.
You would remove 10% of the workers, 10% of the time, 10% of the resources that backed up that process, and force the remaining workers to figure out how to now get that job done with 90% of what they had before. And so that would be Kaizen. That would be the continuous improvement element of it. Once they had reestablished a certain balance, then you take out 10% again. And you continually ratchet downward the resources available. That is what makes it lean, because you have only the bare minimum necessary to get the job done, and you keep pressing it downward to see what you can achieve in the way of maximum efficiency in terms of productivity.
Nos anos 70, as linhas de montagem da Toyota estavam aptas a atender à demanda dos consumidores americanos por carros menores e mais econômicos. Uma severa falta de combustível atingiu os fabricantes americanos, com milhares de carros de alto consumo em produção.
There were a lot of people that knew that there were serious problems in the way we were building cars here in this country for a long time. It's quite natural the way that developed. There was a huge market. The system that Ford came up with worked very, very well. As long as people were making money and everything was selling, there was no problem.
Ironicamente, diante da crise do petróleo dos anos 70, a reação inicial de Detroit foi insistir em defender as linhas de produção automatizadas que haviam criado. Ao contrário de Roosevelt Ford, que fora um trabalhador qualificado, e de seus filhos, que aprenderam o ofício em escolas técnicas, Rose Ford, que começou na fábrica em 1978, era uma típica operária não qualificada, cujo trabalho dependia de sobreviver ao ritmo das linhas de montagem americanas.
To be on your feet 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, was a completely new experience for me.
Como muitos operários no final dos anos 70, Rose estava determinada a sobreviver. Aos 39 anos foi transferida para a fábrica de chassis. Como todas as linhas de montagem americanas da época, a fábrica de chassis priorizava a quantidade à qualidade.
I could get very upset sometimes when I could see that the quality of the steel, the things that we were producing, weren't really quality, and I knew they were going to be rejected.
I had no idea exactly what she was going through until I came to the Rouge complex and I was hired on by Ford.
Sometimes at night I would wake up and it would feel like my hands were the size of a watermelon, and I'd have to open my eyes to look at my hands. Your body isn't made to work at that speed. It just isn't. No part of your body.
And I took a tour of every plant in the complex, and when I got to the frame plant, my eyes welled up with tears to think my mother actually performed this work. I couldn't do it.
You have to be strong to be able to do that. So your mind has to be strong. So I'm really proud that I'm still sane.
What they eventually found was that the application of these principles to the moving assembly line which required extreme mechanization, went too far and pushed the human element in the production process to the extremes, and people rebelled against that.
Nos anos 80, o Japão superou a América em produção de automóveis e Detroit acabou cedendo. O método enxuto de produção da Toyota provou-se inovador e eficiente. Em 1989, os japoneses faziam carros em metade do tempo, com metade dos defeitos dos fabricados nos Estados Unidos. Pela segunda vez no século XX, a indústria automobilística mudou seus conceitos de produção. A produção em massa de Henry Ford deu lugar à acumulação flexível da Toyota, um método de linha de montagem que alterou a estrutura de poder no mercado automotivo.
The challenge is to make that assembly a lot more user-friendly to people. So as we future the assembly line, we really become a lot more people-oriented.
I've seen lines that were ran manually with people on every job turn to automated lines, and it's steady happening. So it's a big change just in the 6.5 years that I've been there.
Little did they know that science fiction would become assembly line fact in less than half a century.
The first kind of tasks that started to get automated were things like welding and painting, environments that weren't people-friendly.
Os robôs foram introduzidos nas linhas de montagem para fazer a pintura, que apresentava riscos à saúde, e a soldagem, que exigia muita precisão e destreza.
We weren't trying to displace workers, we were trying to gain consistency, quality improvements, as well as actually benefit the worker by being able to take away tasks that weren't pleasant.
Mas a utilização de tecnologias computadorizadas no último quarto do século XX eliminou quase 37% dos empregos nas linhas de montagem de automóveis.
Most of the people that are there today are not actually running equipment, they're maintenance people tending the robots.
Hoje, os robôs com cérebros eletrônicos das linhas de montagem são capazes de lidar com materiais complexos, selecionar e distribuir peças e realizar múltiplas tarefas, quase da mesma forma que os humanos.
We're learning that there are things which computers do better than people, and there are things that people do better than computers, and we're learning how to figure out, we're learning how to divide the labor so that we get the best out of the computer and the best out of people.
Ironicamente, foi o aumento do uso de robôs nas linhas de montagem que convenceu Detroit do que os japoneses descobriram há 50 anos.
The most flexible element of our entire assembly process is people.
No longer do we ask workers to park their brains at the door when they walk in. We realize that they're smart. We realize they have something to contribute. And we ask them to participate in even the planning, the creation of the very line that they're going to work on.
Mas as próprias linhas nas quais eles trabalham estão diminuindo. Na última década, grandes fusões e cortes de gastos reduziram o número de linhas de montagem no mundo. Menos pessoas montam mais produtos do que nunca, o que significa que os operários de hoje precisam ser melhor educados e mais qualificados.
We've come up with a program where every single one of our employees will be given a computer free of charge to make sure that the people have the right skills to be able to function in this new environment, because it is a new environment.
Uma parte desse ambiente é uma fábrica virtual com operários e linhas de montagem gerados por computador. É a mais recente ferramenta tecnológica no arsenal utilizado pelos industriais modernos. Veja como a linha de montagem virtual funciona. Antes do Boeing 777 ser montado na fábrica, ele foi totalmente pré-montado por trabalhadores digitais, com peças digitais na linha virtual, por causa do custo de uma montagem verdadeira. No computador, os engenheiros podem ver como as peças se encaixam antes da aeronave ser construída. Se uma peça não se encaixar, é consertada com um clique no mouse. É assim que as indústrias resolvem os problemas no processo que chamam de e-build.
You can imagine the process of building an airplane that size. Building every piece that you think will fit to every other piece, putting it together, finding it doesn't fit, going back and redoing another piece. I mean, the cost of building a complex part the first time is very, very expensive. So e-build has a lot of advantages there.
A montagem virtual economiza cerca de 40% do tempo e dinheiro necessários para se desenvolver novos produtos. Produtos criados por exigência do mercado.
The goal of the virtual assembly line is to reduce the time it takes to bring the real assembly line online, functioning, building quality product. That's a serious problem because automakers today are confronted with needing to come out with more models in shorter periods of time than they ever were before.
The assembly line has to become a lot more flexible. As markets break down into smaller and smaller segments, to be able to really maintain efficiency and productivity, assembly lines have to be able to produce whatever the market demands whenever they demand it.
Talvez o maior desafio da linha de montagem do século XXI seja sua relação com o meio ambiente.
It takes today, or historically in 20th century terms, something on the order of 50,000 pounds of raw materials through the refining and manufacturing process to produce a 3,000-pound car. Well, that means there's 47,000 pounds of waste in there somewhere. There's obviously huge opportunity to become more efficient as manufacturers and as an assembly line, and to become really a superior performer environmentally. On a global scale, we've got 150 plants in 26 countries. So if we do something well, it can be very powerful.
What Ford invented was right for Ford's time. The way we ran production lines was probably the best way to run them at that time. We've got a whole set of rethinking to do now.
Poucos paradigmas da produção duraram tanto quanto o trabalho em movimento. Símbolo da escalada americana ao poder e da recuperação japonesa no pós-guerra, as linhas de montagem espalhadas pelo mundo são um testamento à inventividade, coragem e esperança desses industriais, engenheiros e operários.